Okay, why does that zoom in on me? Like I can't escape it.
Um, just last year. We have information in our district started the. We're going to chambers and and we're very able to. I got nothing today, so you can skip more of it. Names for the people that would probably say. Thank you. You know to do this. Once we go ahead. That's my fault. That's a better. Well. Oh, yeah, you're out of here. I know. Okay. I'm just looking. He's on the better side.
Sounds good.
Where you get that? This is for me.
I think I'm gonna, well, what I would actually think, either past president should have Thompson.
I get those mixed up.
You know, the only reason I think, the president-elect is to learn how to send.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Just to know, yeah, they'll know the computer.
Yeah.
Computer, that kind of thing. What's that? Dude, don't even get me going. Honestly, like, I don't need to.
It's all right. I did reply. I don't know if I replied, but I did see.
You say regret being in that meeting. Honestly, what I wanted to propose an award, I told Gary this, before he said either. Is, A, I'm gonna propose an award, obviously, is moved over to our meeting. And then the treasurer, and the secretary, the two listed contractors. Yeah. And that change every year. And then if it doesn't get done within 30 days, then I'm gonna go to that, I would request. I don't know if I need to apply for it, but I'm gonna go to Isabel Hair, this governor, and ask her to be a mediator, to come and mediate for me. Yeah. So.
I had the. Like all good at that time, it was, we just have to. I could be like, live. Even. Right now, I think plan to. President, whatever. Actually, that person, that time, James Lee, me, and I think. So this is the highest level of this, it's only, I mean, that's good for you to get in there, but nobody else did.
And that's just like, and he said, and I have no price.
Yeah.
I said, listen, yeah. So don't do that. So, yeah, it's. Honestly, I didn't see that big criticism. And I'll start right. So you got like. It is easy to access. But I'm thinking. So there's like. Do it. I'll use it. You got a lot of different, I mean, you're not very, you know. Why did she? Oh my God.
But you know, it's. My wife. I like. Yeah. We actually, I know, my wife. About before you become. Yes, was it something like something. Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess.
I was gonna get some. Yeah, yeah. If I did. Like, I was. Yeah, yeah. That's always true.
How are you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm gonna be here.
Let's go. I said, okay. Yeah, it's filled out. Let me know if you don't see it. Get it. No, I don't think we're bad. I got the E pop. Yeah. Okay. Don't relate to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they still. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's like. I'm gonna make sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It doesn't sound like. Oh, it's just, and then trying to.
Good morning, Lake Stephen Rotarians. If you please rise and join me in the pledge to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the
Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Join me in the formally test of the things we think, say, or do first. Third. Second. Third. Fourth. Fifth. Don't forget us. Luke, right? Welcome, welcome. Come in.
All right. The number one song, February 6th, 2001. Anybody want to guess? 2001. Did you? It was more than 2001. It's actually a good song. It Wasn't Me by Shaggy. The number one song or number one movie. You ever never heard this song? You want me to sing it?
Yeah.
No. Hey, you know what? That could actually be a fun thing to auction off, and I'll take $100.
We're already behind the times because we're gonna get fined later.
Nobody's fine with me. You can't find the president. I
Yes,
know
you
what
can.
that is. It was an executive order. I don't have to pay it. Plain and simple. Yeah, right. So the number one movie, February 6th, 2001. Anybody want to guess? Except Amy. 2001. You definitely got in your head. It's The Wedding Planner. Wedding Planner. It's kind of a lame movie. See, thank you. Waiting for somebody to say it was a good movie and then get me in trouble. Okay, so, and I don't have my sheet, so this is going to be a little interesting because I'm one of those people who really need to follow a sheet, and since there's no deal back there for me to read, so I have no teleprompter. So, just like so our speaker today is Keith Binkley, and I'm sorry, he's got his buddy with him. They're gonna tag team it, but I didn't get his buddy's name. What's your name?
Eric Adman.
Eric Adman. All right, there with the Adopt a Stream Foundation. So, all right, let's move into the reports. Treasurer lady, we had money, and we will not share with anybody in this room. Sorry,
Maybe it's not.
it's all good. Gary,
Board meeting on Wednesday night, 5:30 at Sherwood. I won't be there. Christine will take care of it. Christine and I recently met and we, put all of our projects onto the RI website. All of our service projects, so we've got them all listed. And, we're up to date now and, we will add courts case will be. We'll add whatever comes up later. District has sent an invitation to all clubs for their annual legislative meeting on March 4th at 7 PM on Zoom. And, the requirement is that they're gonna look at their amended district, policy manual, revised district leadership plan and policies and annual statement. Each club, will have one vote. They're trying to get all clubs registered. If you register, they will send you the link. If you don't register, you don't get the link. And, so we just gotta decide, are you gonna be on there,
Yeah.
by chance? And you'll take care of the vote then?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're good on that. And, last week we had, I think, close to 6 potential membership candidates, which was, really astounding, and some of them are here today, so that's really great. And lastly, we have a $1,500 check for a sponsorship from Lake Stevens Ankle and Foot. That, I secured it along with Christine, and, so the rest of it, start moving, get some sponsors. $40,000 is our goal. 50,000 if you really want to make it successful. 60 if you really want to be in good stead with the club.
That was each, right?
Yeah,
Thank you, Gary.
you're welcome, James.
All right, so since without my sheet, I gotta look around and see who else here. Chris, you said you had nothing. You sure you don't have anything?
Not today.
All right, fine. Yeah, Lance.
Okay, a few things. As your president-elect next year, I will be spending 3 days in SeaTac at a president-elect training, this month. And Brian has talked as president, and we've talked at the board level about doing strategic planning as a club. So there is a session that I'll be attending at that, so that I can bring back a lot more detailed information about what that might look like. To kick that off, we were sent a self-assessment questionnaire to send out to all of our club, everybody that's part of this club. And it's got questions in it around increasing our impact, expanding our reach, enhancing participant engagement, some really important areas, I think, that we would like to have all of your input on how we're doing as a club at this point. Because I think that would feed into the strategic planning conversation when we decide to go forward. So I was gonna send it out this week, but I talked to Brian and thought I should stand up and tell you it's coming so that you can look for it in your email. So I'll send that out to all the active and honorary members of this club. And I would really love to get some feedback back before I go to that leadership training, and that's the 20th. So we get it, take a look at it. I think it's a rating from 1 to 5 on about, I think there's about 25 questions or so in different areas. So watch for that and please return it. Thank you.
Yeah, and when you fill it out, be honest with whatever. Don't just give it a bunch of 5s because you want to be on my good side. Because we want to make the club better, right? We want to be able to plan for the future of the club, which means figuring out what new members want to do, because it's like we do the same old thing, right? So as far as projects, so it'd be good to get some some new members' ideas and things like that when we're going through it. So, but we haven't had, I guess, a strategic plan done in quite some time. So, in talking to other clubs, they haven't done every 5 years or so is kind of what I'm hearing. So, I think it's about time. Raquel, do you have anything for membership?
I'll piggyback off of what Gary had said about our membership, and we have had such a huge outpouring of people that want to be a part of our club, which is amazing because we are kind of, I feel like, at the cusp of growth and change a little bit. And I am so amazed at all of the people that are coming along. So don't stop asking. People or prospective members that you see or meet to come join us. And I also want to thank and welcome everybody that's here. And we can't be more excited that you're joining us. So thank you.
What is it, James?
Don't forget the past president.
Oh, yeah, you haven't been here in a while. So towards the end of it.
Doesn't matter, you still have a.
I know he's on there.
You didn't have a list, I was helping you, sir.
Thanks, James. Appreciate you, buddy.
Wow.
Bob, what you got, buddy?
I have something.
Oh, nice.
Appreciate your mind. Nope. All right, so.
I've asked members to be co-chair of our meeting. Yes, so hopefully the board meeting can be approved.
Nice.
Doing stuff.
Yeah, there we go. And so, is there the board and other partners? Morgan, Christine? This is your first one?
Wow.
We have a majority of our club members are involved in fellowships, which is great. And,
Bob, what is the Paul Harris Fellowship? I don't know what you're talking about.
$12,000 for it's the Rotary Foundation, you become a member of its very exclusive society. How many? It's awesome. The foundation is an amazing part of Rotary. It's not it's later, but there's 7 main areas that they focus on. About one. The Rotary Foundation gives out about 9,000 scholarships a year. You add that to what each individual club, there's 30,000 clubs. I figure if it's only one on average, that's enough to build undergraduate. So we can build the entire school. Rotary scholarships. So thank you very much for helping and keep up the good work.
$1,000 a year to earn the Paul Harris.
It's not $1,000 a year.
Oh,
It's just $1,000 to be the writing thing and $1,000.
gotcha.
So.
You can do 1,000 a year.
I have a couple of mechanics and so do quite a few members that more than 1,000. Yeah.
You donate 10,000.
Right out of the pit.
10,000.
So. Please do it. Good idea. Yeah, and the foundation gives out about $8 million per program. So.
Make sure, Chris, that you make that announcement next week. He is given $10,000 to Paul Harris.
Yes.
Truth or not?
Thank you.
All right, Ron, you're up.
I'm up. All right. I don't know if you can hear
Hold
me.
on, can't hear you. Going on with. All right, so here's where we get a tech person. Don, you're on the screen. So let's figure out what's up with the sound. Rand, you want to come and help me out, buddy?
I don't know that I can help, I'll try.
You're definitely going to be better at it than I would be. Thanks.
Try turning the volume up on the wall.
Ron, can you hear us?
I can hear you barely.
Try now, Ron.
Can you hear me?
Ron, talk to us.
Take your mute
I
off.
am talking.
I can hear Ron. Ron, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Don.
All right, so
Tell you what, Ron, if you can type fast enough, why don't you put it in the chat?
All right, I got it.
If we can find out where the chat is.
I don't even know where the chat is.
Come on. We'll let him type in the. Where's the chat? Nice. Yeah, so last week I was telling him how much I was telling him how much I hate Zoom. It just drives me up the wall. And he's like, "Well, yeah, Google Teams or Google, what'd you say, Google maybe better." But he's done some Zoom, so he can go figure it out.
Just need to start going beyond.
Well, no, so it's so funny because we were talking to some of the other presidents about like what our club is, and everybody's talking about like the ages, and it's like, well, we're kind of starting to get some young people, and every one of them, and the president said the same.
If you're talking.
Great, I bet that's a great tech, and I'm like, well, we're gonna find out now.
No pressure.
No.
It gives him a hard time if he can't figure it out. Then
I can hear.
you know, we need somebody even younger. Oh, yeah, they do all these.
how do you make a tissue dance? It's interesting.
Put a little boogie in it.
Don't have.
That's
Coming from this speaker, not great, but it's something.
Can you hear me now?
Hold on, let me
Turn it quiet.
Let me turn the computer. All right, try it.
Hello, hello. Test
Hello.
1, 2.
1, 2, 1, 2.
I think you can hear me. So I apologize for not being there. I'm both me and my wife are laid up, spending our 33rd anniversary sick, so it's not very fun.
Anniversary, not feeling well.
My joke of the day is, how do you make a tissue dance?
How do you make a tissue dance?
You put a little boogie in it.
You put a little boogie in it. All right, you know what? If you don't tell a good one out of all these, you are going to be kicked out of being past president in 6 months.
Yeah,
At
they're
some
all
point,
good.
you've got to get one that's good. Okay, I mean, I get it.
The
You
good
know,
ones I can't say in the school district property. So
well, then should we hold it? We can all walk next door tomorrow or next Friday. We'll all walk next door for the joke and then come back for the deal. That's what we'll do, Ron. All right, thank you, Ron.
yeah.
All right. So without my sheet, I don't think I missed anything except birthdays, anniversaries. Here's the thing. I will acknowledge those next week as a surprise. Actually, it's just because I don't have my sheet. I'm sorry, you know. So I'll catch up next week. But now we're gonna get our speakers up here. And now this is the beauty. They brought a flash drive, and I told them I'm not a technical person, so we get to watch them figure it out and start plugging it in. No, I'm just kidding. I think I can do that part. I think I can.
We're not doing the raffle right away.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, the raffle. Sorry, guys. Yeah, we can set it up. You don't have to walk away. It's just this way. It's actually better. We don't have to worry about. Okay, so I think
You want to point the camera to yes.
so. It should move, but yeah, I'll point it. But here's who's got the drive. We'll plug in your drive. You want to plug it? Is there an extra one? Oh shit! Yeah, that's fine. Plug it. There, I don't think there is. I think that's why we had that sucker. And then
Well, might be more than I.
this is the part of yeah. And then you know how to do the share part.
Yeah.
That part I do know.
Well, then
Yeah.
here's running or. I mean, no way by I can do this. Red ticket though. Red ticket.
Yes, I want to win.
Are you 5'9"? Last three.
And just so you guys, you don't have to stay. If you guys in the very good, you can. Well, and again, it's not a. Don't worry about that. It was pretty good. Oh, is it turned on?
But you do get a consolation. There you go. Take that.
So you're tech savvy.
Yeah, the little things I messed up enough.
Name badge, name badge,
For you.
name badge for those that have it. I'm gonna fine you, Mr. President, for starting late.
We'll see how that works out for you.
You're not very happy this morning, are you?
No, I'm super happy.
No, I don't think so. How happy are you?
I'm happy that my son is happily working with his younger brother now, which is funny because I get the stories all the time of how his younger brother's bossing around. And what I do is I remind him back when he was 10. When he was 10, my son had a lawnmowing business, quote unquote. It's called Three Boys in North. It was actually Josh's little business, and he employed his older brother and a neighbor named Leland. So I said, it's no different than when you were 10. So just keep up the good work, shut up and do your job.
There you go. All right. Yeah, folks online, Don, are you happy?
All right, there I am. Well, sure, I'm happy. I'm happy to report that there is a lot of Seahawks fans down here in Arizona. So I'm looking forward to Sunday.
Good deal. And Ron, hopefully you feel better soon.
Yep. Go Hawks.
All right, Daniel.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I'm happy to. We just from Cancun last night. We got in at about 11 p.m. So I'm up and at 'em and ready to go. Recharge, reset.
All right, good deal. Hopefully we'll see you soon. We want to give our speakers plenty of time, so let's mix the our happy place.
I'm happy it's Friday and I'm happy to do this weekend.
All right, good deal. Victor?
And I'm happy it's Friday. You just.
We'll do that.
I'm always happy.
Good deal. See you.
All
right.
Hawaii on Sunday.
Yeah.
Playing, but somehow getting into the coop and taking away games. So I know. Those are expensive eggs.
Friday.
There we go.
Happy for this morning, but busiest sunrise.
Yeah.
It just made my heart sport. Excited for Sunday's game. I was excited. I had my 19th wedding anniversary this week. We made it. Thanks.
19 years with Jeff.
I've been wanting to view the mountains this morning.
For the Seahawks, go Hawks.
Go
Hawks. And I just checked, that December was 20 years as a road party.
Wow. That's amazing.
Right. So we have a lot of local.
Yeah. You Friday, and I was happy to drive from Linwood to Western Sunday.
Yeah.
Morning, you guys happy?
This weekend.
Yes.
Go Hawks, and I have to hear a secret, and that is, skirt grandkids on the way. Every 10 to 13 years in our family, I've got a 22-year-old, a 13-year-old, and then August, September will be more.
It's a pretty great game.
Why? I did, oh, sorry.
I'm really happy.
There we go.
Thanks, dude. Thank you.
Wait, Victor.
Happy to be here. Sounded really cool.
There we go. There we go. There.
I'm excited to hear what these don't have to tell us today.
Yeah.
Yeah, similarly, I'm really happy. I've had really fun, good connections with Taylor, and he's the water surface technician for the lake, and I'm learning all about the hard work that they do. There's a team of 4, and he physically walks down to the lake at 6 different points every single day and surveys it. And it's been a fun, like I said, just a really fun project, that connection and learning about the ecosystem of the lake and what's natural and what's not natural, and it's very interesting. I'm looking forward to this presentation too.
Definitely the impact you're making, living above the legends. You found.
Correct, yeah, it's a live breathing thing, yeah.
Brand, good to see you.
Good morning, everybody. We'll see us. Have a bad Friday, and there's new members coming in, and some of the new members stepping up into new positions, and everything that is so awesome. I love it here. Good morning, Friday, and both the
Happy to be joining the commission. Happy the wife comes home, and in the name of streams and fish,
Went fishing this week and no fish were harmed.
I can report. Good news.
No hops.
Right. Right.
All right.
Yeah.
I did the round.
You're doing.
I didn't even pay attention. I was stepping on. No, I was talking to these guys. I didn't even pay attention to the setup. Okay.
Who won the raffle?
So these guys.
Who won the raffle? Uh-huh.
It's about it. All right, take it away.
Hey, thank you. Gosh, great to be here. I'm Keith Binkley. I'm one of the co-directors of the Adopt a Stream Foundation, and Eric Admin is the other. When we first rolled in, Brian was asking us, he just did a little poll. He said, do you typically want to do your presentation right off the bat, or would you like to wait, to the later parts? I am absolutely convinced that waiting to the later part is the way to go, because you get a sense of this group. You guys really got something here. I mean,
So you can sign up to be part of the club on the website.
It's really, we've done a few of these. We've been in this role for about a year. We've done a few, but I don't know if it's the early morning thing or sunrise or whatever, or the Seahawks, but the energy is really, really good. It's a pleasure to be here. So we kind of are going to do a tag team. We haven't done this before. It's not scripted, so be patient with us. So like I said before, we both recently retired. We had been board members with the Adopt a Stream Foundation. And then the past executive director had been in that role for a really long time. So there were discussions about, who's going to succeed. And so the idea was hatched that we might share this. So here we are a year into it, and it's working well. We really enjoy it. It's part-time for both of us. And so being newly retired, that works. I retired from the PUD. I was the natural resources manager there for 22 years. And so I have an interest in fish. I have an interest in habitat. I like to be successful when I fish. So this was kind of a natural, evolution moving into retirement. So at the Adopt a Stream Foundation, we have a restoration arm of the organization. Goes out, does habitat projects, replaces culverts. We have a lot of history working around Lake Stevens, Snohomish County. So I kind of am involved with those technical folks that are out getting dirty. And then Eric does the other side of the house, which is education and outreach, and we kind of share the administration piece. So let's try this tag team.
Sure. Yeah. So thanks, Keith. Since Keith's given a little of his backstory. So I was on the board of Adopt a Stream for about 15 years, probably before I retired from my primary career, which is I was a paramedic for the fire department for the Shoreline Regional Fire Authority. So the reason why I got involved in streams and Adopt a Stream and any of that kind of thing is because I happen to live on a little stream in Kenmore called Little Swamp Creek. And once upon a time, way back in the past, Adopt a Stream, one of the things they do is stream restoration. And they were canvassing streamside landowners where in the Swamp Creek watershed and looking for people who wanted to do what's called a riparian restoration, which is restoring the area of trees and plants around the stream. And so I had at that time lawn that went right up to the stream. And, it was lovely because I looked right at the stream right there. But on the other hand, as I learned more about kind of the health of the stream, it's not actually great to have lawn right up to the border of the stream. So I was like, sure, we'll do some native plants and trees along the edges of the stream. And one thing led to another, and eventually I ended up getting involved with Adopt a Stream and getting involved with the board of Adopt a Stream. So that's kind of, living on a stream is what was kind of led my path to Adopt a Stream. And so now, yeah, we've been doing this for about a year, and it's interesting to hear some of your connections here. And actually, I recognize Brett because I also am a newly elected city council member for Kenmore, and I attended the new council member training, which you helped deliver some of that training.
Hopefully I'm a small part.
So, yeah, so moving into some different roles now. And also, I liked what you were talking about with working with the surface water management and Lake Stevens and going around and doing water monitoring. Because do you guys understand the concept of a watershed? Does everybody understand the concept of watershed? I mean, essentially, watershed is the area of land that drains to a body of water. So we're in the Lake Stevens watershed. So essentially, everything that everybody does that runs downhill towards the lake affects that lake. It affects the watershed. And that's one of the fundamental lessons that we try to teach people at Adopt a Stream is that you're all part of this system. You may not see it every day, but a lot of people don't realize, all those little storm drains on streets, they go to streams, and those streams go to a creek or to a lake or something. So everything that people are doing affects the watershed. So what we're going to do is I've got a slide presentation. I'm going to bring it up here and then we'll share it so that the people online can see it.
And I circulated some free passes to Northwest Stream Center, Foundation, our base of operations. If you haven't been there, you got to check it.
That's at McCollum Park.
Right behind McCollum Park. And if you want additional ones, we brought some. We're really just trying to get more people to come through that facility. Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, I've done a couple of presentations. So we're going to walk through a few slides about Adopt a Stream, and feel free to stop us as we go along if anybody has any questions. Let me see. First, okay, there we go. So Adopt a Stream was established in 1985. So we recently had our 40-year anniversary. We're a nonprofit organization, and our mission is to teach people how to become stewards of their watershed. So what I was just talking about, that exact thing, is just trying to connect people to the fact that everybody lives in a watershed. Everybody has an effect on a watershed. So there's a number of different ways that we carry out our mission. One is we've historically produced different educational materials. So these are some of the examples that things that we produced, and these are available. We sell these, but like the Streamkeepers Field Guide, it talks about not just the kind of the physical aspect of a stream itself, because there's the physical aspect, like how healthy is that stream, what kind of community of insects live in the bottom, how wide is the riparian zone, all those types of things. But there's also a lot of other things that affect the health of the watershed, like what's happening with land use. What kind of political decisions are taking place that are affecting land use in that area? Who is interested in that health of that watershed? Who are the other people that you want to connect with? So it talks about kind of a holistic view of watersheds and teaches people, if you had a group of people who wanted to be friends of Lake Stevens or friends of some creek that flows in or out of Lake Stevens, this kind of teaches that group how to get set up and get running. So it's kind of our operations manual for how do you do that. And we offer classes, Streamkeeper classes, that teach you that as well. Another way that we carry out our mission is we conduct what we call Streamkeeper Academy events, and we have a bunch of those coming up. I'll show you a handful of those. These are typically like maybe a nature themed program. So we have some coming up soon. So we've got one just this weekend called White Birds of Winter. This is at our location, the Northwest Stream Center, which I'll talk a little bit more. This is one that's about like swans in particular and snow geese and other things that migrate in the wintertime. It's taught by a woman named Martha Jordan, who's a local swan expert and protector. We've got some planting events I listed on here. one on February 14th, which, so the idea behind this, obviously Valentine's Day, we have an annual thing called Holiday Trees where people can come to the Stream Center and get a live tree. Instead of buying a cut Christmas tree, they get a live tree. They take it home, they use that live tree, and then at the end of the holiday season, they either plant it themselves if they have a good place to plant that tree, or they bring it back to one of our planting events and they can plant that very tree themselves next to a stream, or they can just leave it with us and we'll use it in one of our stream side plantings. And there's a couple other planting events. We have another event that's there's a group called Pacific Northwest. Gosh, I'd have to look up there. Basically, it's a company that produces illustrated materials about streams, and we stock some of their stuff. They're going to have a kind of a multimedia presentation as well as a gallery showing at the Stream Center. And then, we have quite a range of classes. So we've got someone from a place called the Alderleaf College that teaches wilderness type skills. So we've got those coming up. And all these are listed on our website, which is streamkeeper.org.
Yeah, and the topics over the course of the year, they're widely varied. We have presentations on whales, bats, beavers, just it's ever changing. So yeah, visiting the website was, or becoming an even better, becoming a member, you get, prompted when something new and exciting is available.
Another way Keith was talking about that we carry out our mission is we do stream and wetland restoration services. And maybe Keith, do you want to elaborate on this a little bit?
Yeah, we basically, as a nonprofit, we're small, but we like to get dirty. So we identify grant opportunities to do our work. We also can work for, private individuals, but the type of work we do is basically creating habitat. So it could be like Eric was mentioning, riparian restoration type projects. That's where you're moving, laterally from the stream, improving the stream banks and addressing erosion, things like that. But we also do in-channel work where we're like here. They're doing log installation in that center photograph. This schematic on the left is a planting plan. I believe that's on Catherine Creek. So that was, each of those colors represents a specific type of plant that will be, planted in that riparian zone. We also do surveys like we're either characterizing what the fish population is with an electroshocker there, or if there's a actual construction project going on and they need to dewater a section and reroute a stream, we'll go in and, salvage the fish and relocate them. So, culverts, bridge, in-stream structures, research projects. I mean, it's varied, and I think over the course of the 40 plus years that we've been in existence, it's not a stretch to say we've done thousands of projects in Snohomish County. So a lot of them are, sometimes we'll team with others, but a lot of the projects we do are like, smaller to medium scale projects, nothing grand like a, estuary restoration. You see big ones, Spencer Island, things like that. But ours are, typically in the $25,000 to $150,000.
We also consult for private landowners. Like, for instance, we got a phone call recently from someone who lives on a property on Pilchuck Creek, and they have a bridge that's failing over the creek. And so they're wondering, well, what can I do with that situation? Because there's a lot of, especially nowadays, back in the day, there was not really a lot of regulation on what happened on creeks. Now that's highly regulated. So, the process of replacing a bridge is not necessarily simple. So we can give technical consultation to kind of walk people through the options of what they can do, as well as we can, those are typically expensive projects. And so we can try to help people find grant funds to execute that work. And then we can carry out that work ourselves. But so like, another case in point, like the one that I described. So for the creek that I live on, Adopt a Stream came to us and said, hey, are you interested in this? And I said, sure. So they developed a planting plan, and we got to help work with Adopt a Stream and identify the plants and trees that we wanted and where we wanted to put them. And then all we had to do, and they actually, because of the grant funding for that particular project, we got hundreds of plants and trees, like 20 yards of mulch, and all the labor to put it in was volunteered through Edmonds College Service Learning Program. So we didn't have to pay a dime on that project. And so those types of things are some of the things we make happen. Kind of consider this our jewel, and we've got some more information to share about this. But so the Adopt a Stream Foundation, sometimes we have a little bit of confusion about what are we? Are we the Stream Center or are we the Adopt a Stream Foundation? The organization is called the Adopt a Stream Foundation, but our headquarters is the Northwest Stream Center. So we have a physical building and a site on about 30 acres in McCullum Park in South Everett. So that's right off 128th Street, just to the east of I-5 and a little bit south. So like a half mile off I-5. We have a large visitors building, which has a big auditorium that we show and host our programming in. And we also have a smaller room that's about maybe say half, not quite half the size of this room. And for like smaller groups, like for instance, today the North Cascades Institute is having a board retreat at our facility. And then we have 20 acres that I'll highlight a little bit more of and some of the features that are there, but that is basically got places to explore and learn and have interpretive information.
Yeah. Is anybody, can you get a show of hands? People, did they? Oh, you got, this is.
So admission is generally dirt cheap. I mean, it's like $7 for general, but for everybody who wants one, we have free passes here. So highly encourage, yeah, kids too.
And the common, so at McCullum, you've probably been to McCullum Park, and then there's the WF2 extension facility. We're tucked behind that. So probably one of the most common thing people say when they come is, I had no idea this was here. So I mean, it is like a stone's throw from I-5, right off 128, then you're just going to transport it into another world. It's a real jam of stuff.
And afterwards, you're gonna shut it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, where we have gone and where there's a rotary that meets right there.
Yep.
So some of the things that are features in our Northwest Stream Center, we have a trout stream exhibit. So we have a man-made trout stream. So a part of our site originally was actually a parking lot for Snohomish County parks, I think, where they parked like vehicles, and it was a partially filled wetland with gravel and parking lot, and that's what it was. So we've restored that site back to a functioning forested wetland, and you would never guess that that's what it was. But one of the things that we constructed was a man-made trout stream exhibit. So we've got a couple of large-scale pumps that draw from one of the ponds that we restored, pump it up to this giant tank, and then it flows downstream through a natural man-made, but essentially showing you a model of a trout stream. And then there's viewing windows where there's cutthroat trout and freshwater mussels and other things that you can see that are there. We also have North Creek, is the creek that flows right through the site itself. This is the elevated forest and wetland walk that I've mentioned, and I'll have a short video to show you guys, assuming that we have internet connectivity, which we must because we got people on Zoom. There's all kinds of wildlife. So we have game cameras. We have about 4 game cameras set up around our nature trails. So we have this half-mile elevated nature trail. And once a week, we have a couple different volunteers who come out and check and see what has been found on our game cameras. So we're in kind of like South Everett, we're a stone's throw from I-5, but we have seen a family of bears, a mom and 3 cubs, a recent family of bobcats, coyotes come like daily, raccoons, river otters, beaver, birds of all sorts, deer just a couple days ago. I mean, it's amazing. You realize how like a wildlife corridor, even in the urban area, how much wildlife it still holds. So I'm going to see if I can get this to work for you guys. The volume, I guess, will be a little bit low. See if this works. I guess the only thing we're lacking is the volume here.
I know, I was just wondering.
Sorry.
You can give us closed captioning.
Yeah, I'll
Anybody knows we're here.
This place may be a secret spot for people, but wildlife know it's here. Game cameras have discovered coyotes, bears, even bobcats enjoying this boardwalk. Ron Murdoch walks this trail every day, and it still surprises him.
One of the most fun things we saw the very first time, baby coyotes in the house. I have never seen them house.
There were fresh coyote tracks on the boardwalk when we visited. One of the reasons animals come here is that this trail is never crowded with humans.
I limit the number of people that come here to no more than 5 people for 15 minutes. So when you do come here, it's like you're in a private nature reserve.
You don't need a game camera to see plenty of creatures here yourself.
These are resident cutthroat trout.
We glimpsed baby ducks and baby salamanders on our nature walk. And there was something to learn at every turn.
I tell everybody, if you read all the information on this blog, and remember, you pick up a natural science, be grateful.
We promise you'll see bears or a bobcat when you visit the Northwest Trade Center's nature trail. But we can't guarantee that you'll see why we need to preserve places like this.
You come out into the forest, listen to the sounds or the silence. Take a deep breath and feel stress of the day just float away. It's just a wonderful place to be.
Well done, Steve. Well done.
Yeah, so you can help us, we're trying to, being a nonprofit, we're trying to get the word out. More people know what we're doing. So coming to the Stream Center and experiencing that and spreading the word really helps our mission. We obviously would like to grow our membership and have more support for what we do. And it really, that facility is such a gem. So I encourage you to check it out. And we brought extra passes if you want to bring other folks there as well.
So kind of continuing to talk about the Stream Center. So one of the other things that we do there is we try to embody some practices that benefit the watershed. And so, some of the buzzwords today is, sustainability, sustainable practices. So things, those examples of those are things like having pervious pavement, having a green roof so that water is slowed down, and having rain barrels that we can harvest and use that to go back into the, watering the plants on the site. Native plant landscapes instead of lawns is another thing that we model there. So we've got examples of native plant landscapes. This year we're expanding the concept to the visitors building itself, which was built in about 1995 or so. So some of the things, what we're trying to do is essentially make the building itself model these types of practices. So we're making changes to the building itself that embody that. So like one thing is asphalt shingle roofs. You don't really think about them very much, but they get very hot. And so from like a need for, say, air conditioning or energy usage, If you can replace that with something that doesn't absorb heat, it can reduce your need for air conditioning. So we're going to replace the roof with a light colored metal roof. We're going to put in larger scale rainfall collection systems so that we're decreasing runoff off the site. We're going to put additional solar panels. Right now we have a small handful of solar panels, but we're going to try to increase our number of solar panels, improve our window insulation and reflectability, permeable pavement. So we've got the park site and the parking lot as it comes through is asphalt. We're going to have a kind of a model section of different colors and types of pavement that model out, the effect of using different types of pavement. We've got rain gardens on site. We've got native plant landscapes, so we already have some of these elements. We have a large example of restored wetlands. We're updating the appliances that we use in our kitchen, and this is our campaign is about $1.5 million campaign. We're at about $1 million, and we've got construction starting in March. So we're on the way for this campaign. If you guys want to help, certainly we're always, fundraising, looking for contributions, but probably the biggest thing to do is just come and pay us a visit and learn and just say, for one thing, it's just a beautiful place to visit. It's just an enjoyable way to spend some time is just come out there on a nice day and just take a walk on our trails. But then as you're there, you start to learn more, you get more curious, and you may decide, I'm going to get a book to read more about this particular topic. And we have a nature store that has all kinds of books on different ecosystem topics, as well as just, interesting reading. Or you can get involved in any of our kind of different funds that we're hosting. But basically, we're building different endowment funds so that we can keep this operation going into the future. And with that, I think that is it for our presentation. This is how you get a hold of us. Please feel free to get a pass or business card from us. We've got tons of those. And then does anybody have questions? Got them in the back.
Thank you. So how long have you lived on Swamp Creek?
I have lived on Swamp Creek Little Swamp Creek for almost 30 years.
And then when did you make the change with your shore?
I had lived there for about 10 years.
So my question is, have you noticed that different, and your neighbors, hopefully they participated as well?
To a degree, yeah. In fact,
and so it has noticed major change in the health.
Probably one of the main things I've noticed is increased use of the stream area for wildlife. So I have game cameras. My wife, actually, I can't take credit. My wife has game cameras all around the stream in the area that we restored. And we have, so since subsequently, luckily we have a fairly good sized parcel because one of the neighbors who did some restoration behind us, they moved and we were able to buy more property. But so we have about 2.5 acres there, and the stream flows through it. And downstream, not where it's going to bother us, we've seen a beaver build a beaver dam. And so then that caused heron to come in there and start fishing. And then we've had river otters. We've seen coyotes, we've seen bobcats. We had some beehives in the field behind us. We actually once had a bear come through and knock over beehives. But basically, I would say we've seen, definitely increased wildlife use from both, mammals as well as birds. And then I also teach volunteer water quality monitoring. And so, one thing, I actually wasn't monitoring water back at the day, so I can't say, but one thing one of the reasons why you want all this trees and plants around a stream is it shades the stream. And so, salmon and trout need cold, clear water. And so that's one of the things that helps you get is colder, clear water. So I know that it's more shaded than it was coming through the yard before. So I know it's colder.
So Eric, you are more familiar with the program we offer, converting your landscapes.
I have native plant landscapes.
Yeah. That's just speak to that as one of the offerings.
Yeah. Now that is not something that we always do because as a nonprofit organization, we have to find a way to pay for things. So typically, if when we're offering those programs in a particular watershed, it's because we're operating under a grant program. But if we get a grant to do that for a watershed, then we can basically offer people to have the same thing that I did, which is, reach out to streamside landowners, identify places that are prospects for conversion to a native plant landscape. We also have actually just regular education. So you don't have to have a big grant and a lot of money to do this. You can do this if you have, anybody who has a lawn, if anybody in here has a lawn and wants to reduce and get rid of a bit of that lawn, you will, cut down the amount of mowing you have to do. Unless you have an electric mower, you're going to cut down on the amount of gas cans and gas you got to handle. You're going to not have to, all the stuff that goes with mowing that's not a joy, you can get rid of that stuff. But also, a lawn is actually not really great for the watershed. And so, if you put chemicals on your lawn, quit doing that. It just improves the recharge of the groundwater more so than a lawn does. So, there's a ton of benefits. So, and we have classes regularly in fact, we're going to have one coming up on May 9th on lawns to native plant landscape. So, and we have that once or twice a year. So we've got resources, and native plants can be had for very inexpensively through like Snohomish Conservation District, or, when they have a plant sale, or King Conservation District. So you don't have to have a big grant and a big pot of money to do this. You could do this on whatever size and scale you want.
So happy you guys are here. I'm sure gonna come check out your space. Good job on all your hard work. I'm a newer planning commissioner for the City of Lake students, and I'm curious if you guys have a history or relationships with helping advise planning commissioners.
We do sometimes get involved in that. We have a limited staff and scope, and there's so many jurisdictions that are going through changes that, like the planning commission, for instance, I don't want to go on too big of a tangent here for timing, but yes, we do. I'll just say, yes, we do. We do offer advice. There's a complex, planning commission advises on a lot of issues, including land use, and a lot of jurisdictions right now, they have a thing called a comprehensive plan, kind of governs a lot of things, including land use. And one of the things they're supposed to do is take care of their critical areas, which are like streams, wetlands. And they're supposed to use what's called best available science to make those regulations. So a lot of jurisdictions now are being said, hey, you need to update your regulations because you're not using the current best available science. So we can talk more about that.
Great. Are you guys aware of what we're planning on doing with the outflow channel?
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing right now a design engineering. So a quick history. It used to flood right below us. We took out 54 dump trucks worth of crap out of the outflow of the lake that feeds into Catherine Creek. That's a man-made outflow. And part of that discussion became, how do we go back to where the natural flow was? And so we're currently doing a design engineering, and that first phase is essentially where it used to flood down here where we had sandbags. We'll put in a fish-bearing culvert there. And then up further at Hartford, where Catherine Creek and Hartford and the outflow channel meet, we'll put in another fish-bearing culvert there. And then these houses here behind the fire station that used to flood, that no longer flood because we cleaned out the outflow channel. Behind that, we will restore the old creek bed from 1920 when the Rucker brothers diverted it to the current outflow channel. So that will be the first phase. So essentially from that point, you'll get rid of the restriction at Hartford and Catherine Creek for fish to get upstream. They'll be able to go into the natural creek bed, restored up to this point, to get back towards the lake.
Awesome. Yay.
Yeah. So I was just, so Eric wasn't aware that we submitted for that work. We talked to some other folks, and it was awarded to Herrera. But that led to a conversation with Olin Anderson. Yeah. And we have since met with them about, being more involved. We have a history of working in the Listings area, but being more involved with a variety of projects. So, Olin and Shannon, we just been really, great stimulating our relationship. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to turn it back over to the club since we're at 8:30.
Another question. To all that one. You stated significantly to the installation of a mural on the tile mural that's right next to the splash pond or the splash area. And when you mentioned watershed, I want you all to go down and look at it because that is a mural of watershed, tile mural of the watershed. That would look at with the mountains and forests at the beginning and Lake Stevens at the end. We had hoped very much that people would see that and recognize that that's what this is all about. Is protecting the water.
That's awesome. Well, so good stuff is happening in Lake Stevens. It's awesome. Well, thank you so much for hosting us, and we'll stick around if anybody has more questions. And also, we want to give you the free passes and turn it back over to the club president.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thanks. Eileen's not here. Gary, do you have a?
I do. This is from her. Time is the only currency you spend without knowing your balance. Use it wisely.
Wow, that's good.
So go out there and use it wisely, y'all. Happy Friday.
Hey, let's see your Seahawks picture, guys.
No. Yes, it's Seahawks. No.
Pretty well.
They had that table too close this time. It's so boxed in. All right.